So it's the start of the year and we got a small little window to milk these trend videos for the algorithm. So you know I had to come up here and talk my shit, right? I'm gonna come on here and give my opinion that nobody asked for, right? So I'm gonna talk about the trends that I think will be in 2023. Now let me start with an obvious one, and that's gonna be baggy pants. And I know, I had to say what everyone's already known, right? Because I know this has been hot for a while, right? But I see this going even harder this year, right? I see a lot of people more experimenting with even baggier fits, right? Parachute pants, cargo pants, all of that shit's still gonna be hot this year. It's so easy to see that the whole Y2K, 2000s, or just the whole older type of styling, right? It's really, the resurgence is still going hard, right? And we can see people adopting a lot more different niches and sub-aesthetics within this whole kind of look. So I definitely see baggy pants, particularly, I want to say baggy denim, and I still see parachute pants going crazy hard this year. Now next we have racer jackets, like motor jackets, like that sort of shit, right? It's kind of like a spicier, cooler take on the whole leather jackets kind of vibe. And I know what you're thinking, right? This shit's been hot for a while, right? Like if you know, you know. I know this shit's been cool for a while, but a lot more normies are picking up on this, right? I'm seeing this way more on my Pinterest, my Instagram, my YouTube. Hella people know about this already, right? And I think this will probably be the year where we see this peak and then start to die off, right? It's so funny I'm sitting up here giving these prediction videos, right? Because these YouTubers be bullshitting out here. They just be straight capping, right? But I'm gonna just come on here and tell you guys what I generally think, right? So don't come up in my fucking comments talking shit about like, this trend's inaccurate, this trend, like get the fuck out of my comments, right? But anyway, motor jackets, racer jackets, I see that going hard this year. And next we got jerseys, like soccer jerseys particularly, I'm trying to say, because I do know the whole bloke core sort of aesthetic really popped off last year, and I do see this going, not particularly bloke core exactly, but I see racer jackets being adopted with a lot more different styles, people experimenting a lot more, because you can even see a lot of fashion houses are putting out their own kind of versions of, you know, jerseys and everything, and a lot more influencers, a lot more celebrities, a lot of people are just more open to this, and especially with the World Cup ending, soccer jerseys have been so much more trendy and acceptable and sort of just common with the whole kind of community. So this is something I see really popping off a lot more in 2023. Now, next thing I want to quickly mention is that I see Bapes rising in popularity again this year. As we sort of ease up more and more away from the Jordans and Dunks and start to kind of explore other types of sneakers, I've already seen a little collective resurgence of Bapes and streetwear scene happening late last year, and I can definitely see this coming into 2022. Okay, next trend I want to talk about is going to be beanies, and particularly beanies with like loud graphics, loud prints, like loud text designs on them. Like these shits are so nice, and I've seen a lot more people getting up in the know in this, like particularly, honestly guys, I'm trying to say this, right? If you look at what girls be wearing, right? Because girls be so ahead of the game, right? If you just peep what girls be wearing, right? They're usually way ahead of the game than us dudes be like. So I've noticed a lot more chicks being open to sort of, and I'm not just saying the Arc'teryx beanies, like I actually will say Arc'teryx beanies probably is what started this whole beanie kind of hype coming in through, right? But I've seen loads of different more brands, and so I don't want to say Supreme, right? I almost fucking said Supreme, right? I've just seen loads more brands copying with this whole beanie kind of look, and it's definitely been a lot more trendy and a lot more popular to wear. So beanies are going to be a big thing I'm seeing this year. Next, let's talk about over the knee shorts. This is a sort of styling and cutting I'm seeing so much more often, and it's crazy, right? The moment I buy over the knee shorts, hella people be wearing them, right? Like, what can I say, dude? I'll just be at top of the trends, right? But this probably goes back to the whole point I made before about like the baggier pants and sort of like looser sort of cuts, and people are just a lot more open to these sort of looks. And going back to what I said too as well with the older style in 2000s, 90s, all that type of shit, right? It's just a lot more in nowadays to be wearing a lot more wider cuts, more relaxed looking kind of clothing, and it just seems like comfort's a big thing we sort of prioritize now. So I'm loving it. I'm not even complaining, right? Because honestly, I do sort of fuck with the whole like above the knee shorts and all that shit. Like if you got quads, right? If you got gains for days, it looks fine, right? But something is just swaggy about that over the knee. And I want to say jorts. I can also see jorts kind of making a big resurgence a tiny bit, but honestly, I just say shorts, particularly any sort of design with like the over the knee sort of cutting. That's what I see coming up this year. Now, the last thing I want to mention for 2023 that's going to be a big one is going to be denim on denim, like double denim, like just hella denim fits, right? Like this always, if you asked me, this always has been kind of trendy, always been stylish, always been swaggy, right? But particularly recently, like especially with Marine Sierra, it's really obvious to see that people are really fucking with denim heavier. Like even raw denim is making a little bit of a comeback, right? So when I say, I'm gonna say denim in general, right? Denim in general is gonna be something that's big this year, right? And one thing I do want to say, if you guys are trying to do the whole denim look, right, make sure you do different washes, different colors with the denim, right? You don't want to have the denim looking exactly the same, right? Because then at that point it sort of looks like it just looks like a tacky little costume, right? Like, it doesn't look like a little swaggy kind of fit, right? So make sure you have different washes, different designs, different sort of colors on there, right? So play around with the denim, right? This is the one thing I have to say, right? If you're doing denim on denim, if you got the balls to be doing denim, just wild out, bro. Because at that point, right, you're just different, right? But anyway, that's gonna be the whole video, guys. Just a quick one for the algorithm, and I'll see you guys next time.